100 years ago, countless titans suddenly appeared in the world. These titans preyed on humans, particularly enjoying eating people whole. They possessed immense strength that put humanity in peril. The surviving humans erected 350-meter-high walls. This allowed them to live in peace for a century. These walls were humanity's last hope for survival, as ordinary titans only a dozen meters tall were unable to enter. To investigate the origin of the titans, a team was assembled specifically to hunt them beyond the walls. These titans could only be killed by cutting the meat behind their necks. However, every time the team went on a mission they suffered heavy losses. The people inside the walls hoped that the investigation team could find a way to completely eliminate the titans. The team had hundreds of members, but only a few injured soldiers returned from their missions. The rest of the soldiers had been devoured by titans. Then an old man suddenly appeared and asked if her son had returned. But all she got was her son's severed arm. The old man held his son's severed arm and cried as he asked the investigation team whether his son's death had brought about a way to exterminate the titans. However, the team leader only knelt down and cried, indicating that their mission had failed and they had not found any clues. When Eren expressed his desire to join the investigation team, his mother was terrified as everyone knew that joining the team meant certain death. The father asked him why he wanted to go out into the world. Eren stated that he didn't want to be trapped in the wall for the rest of his life. His father did not stop him, but instead gave him a key and promised to show him the secret in the basement when he returned. Humans had lived comfortably within the walls for a century and had forgotten what the outside world was like. However, their peace was about to be shattered. A lightning bolt suddenly appeared outside the walls. The ground shook violently. A colossal hand appeared over the 50-meter-high wall, and everyone froze in fear. It was as if everyone saw their own death. Then a titan head appeared. He lifted his leg in a backward stance. With one kick he broke through the massive wall of the human building. A massive wind was instantly generated within the walls. Then, countless titans headed towards the hole. All humans could do now was pray that they would not be eaten. But during this crisis, Eren chose to move in the opposite direction because his mother was still at home. When Eren returned home he found his mother trapped under the rubble. More and more titans were invading the walls, and Eren had to rescue his mother before they were discovered. He desperately tried to lift the stake. But no matter how hard he tried he couldn't move it. She tells them to leave themselves alone and run for their lives. Suddenly a titan approached them. Just when they thought everything was lost, a soldier appeared. He planned to kill the titan and then rescue Eren's mother. Hannes drew his sword and rushed out. But when he saw Titan he was immediately scared. The titan in front of him was beyond his control. Hannes put away the knife and took the two children and left. Despite being grateful for saving her children, Eren's mother was terrified when she realized she was about to die. The titan pulled her from the debris and held her in its hand. Eren could only watch as his mother was taken away. Struggling in the titan's grasp, the next moment, the titan bit into her and devoured Eren's mother in one gulp. The peace of humanity was shattered, and many lost their lives while trying to escape. The priest attempted to use his faith to defeat Titan. The next moment he was bitten to death. The only way to survive was to retreat to the second ring of wall rows. Countless cannons were already aimed at the target, but more and more titans are gathering at the entrance, for the safety of the people inside the walls. The superiors ordered to close the stone gate. As long as the gate is closed they will have a chance to survive. But at this crucial moment, suddenly, a founding titan with superior combat abilities appeared. The moment he started to run the ground was cracked. His objective was to destroy wall rows. Numerous shells came at him but they couldn't stop his speed. The founding titan easily broke through the stone gate that was several meters thick. In just a few hours, Titan invaded the second level of wall rows. Thousands of titans broke through the walls. Everyone was silently waiting for their own death. At that moment, Eren remembered the tragic death of his mother. It was all because he was too weak. Eren vowed to kill all titans to avenge his mother's death. The government restricted human activities to the second layer of wall rows. During this period, over 10,000 people were eaten by titans. Eren dreamed of his father injecting him with a special serum and reminding him to keep the key safe. He was awakened by the sound of bells and realized he was in wall rows. Due to the high number of refugees, there is a shortage of food. Conflicts between people have increased. A large number of refugees were sent to cultivate the wasteland, but famine still broke out. The central government used the excuse of recapturing Wall Maria to send many refugees into battle. The number of soldiers who participated in the war this time was up to 250,000, equivalent to 20% of the population. But in the end, only 100 people survived. Their sacrifice temporarily eased the food shortage. Eren, Mikasa, and Armin decided to become the new group of trainees and vowed to defeat the Titans and avenge their loved ones. Eren chose to become a trainee in order to seek revenge. He aimed to become the strongest soldier and kill all Titans. But in his first basic class he was called a loser. Everyone else could easily complete the balanced training except for Eren. Everyone laughed at him, and even with Mikasa's guidance he still couldn't master the technique. If he couldn't maintain balance and stability, he would be assigned by the instructor to reclaim the wasteland. The next day the test arrived. Everyone was focused on Eren. Eren worked hard to balance his body and finally succeeded. Just as everyone was happy for him, he fell to the ground again the next second. The instructor walked over and Eren begged him for another chance. However, the instructor asked Eren and the others to switch to a different belt, and surprisingly Eren succeeded. It turned out that the metal fastener on Eren's belt was broken, and he was able to maintain balance with the faulty equipment, which was something an ordinary person couldn't do. 2 years after joining the army, training has become increasingly brutal. The instructor also recognized the strengths of each person, especially Annie and Mikasa, who excelled in every subject and were unprecedented geniuses in the history of the military. 5 years later they finally graduated. There were 3 remaining options for them. One was the garrison regiment, which was responsible for constructing the city walls. The second is the investigative corps, which is always ready to die. The third is the military police corps, which protects the king. Only the top 10 students were allowed to join the military police corps. Mikasa was the best. Eren came in 5th place. In the end, the 3 Erens chose to join the investigation corps. But on the first day after they graduated, the giant titan from 5 years ago has reappeared. The terrifying head scared everyone to move. Then the walls were once again shattered by a kick. Would the people inside Wall Rose be slaughtered again? Eren was reminded of the image of his mother's tragic death, and his oath. He immediately overcome his fear and began fighting. This time, he wasn't afraid and stood directly in front of the Titan. Titan first destroyed the stationary turrets. That's when Eren realized he had wisdom. If he doesn't kill him today, more people will die in the future. Eren followed his body and charged forward, using his speed to his advantage. Just as he was about to hit Titan in the vital areas, a hot mist sprayed Eren. The next second, Titan vanished into thin air. Eren was taken aback by this. How could a massive Titan suddenly vanish? However, the more pressing task was to repair the hole in the wall. Everyone was summoned back to headquarters to create a battle plan. People inside the walls began to evacuate. The Titans had already gathered at the hole, and the garrison regiment was the first to counterattack. The improved fixed artillery had tremendous firepower, but the wounded Titans had incredibly strong recovery abilities and their limbs regenerated in just 1 minute. The Titans had already breached the wall, and they had to kill all of them before the founding Titan appeared. More and more Titans were pouring into the wall. Suddenly they spot the mutant Titan in the distance. He swallowed Eren's teammate whole in 1 bite, and Eren was filled with anger and rushed over to avenge his friend. However, the Titan ambushed and severely injured Eren, causing him to fall into a coma. The other members were also attacked by Titans. Seeing his companions being devoured by Titans, Armin was so scared that he stood still. Slowly, Titan grabbed him and put him into his mouth. At this moment of crisis, Eren heard Armin's cry for help. He used all his strength to rush into the Titan's mouth to save Armin. Although Armin was successfully rescued, Eren was unable to escape and was swallowed by the Titan.